What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my segment, What's Next? I want to talk about AB, Adrien Broner. Now, Adrien Broner is very hard for me. It's such a mixed bag because, like, I can't shit on his performance and say it was horrible, but I can't say it was great either. And it's like, ever since the Maidana fight, he's really hard for me to gauge. Like, one minute he's outlandish on interviews and loud and about, and then recently on the build up to this he's been pretty quiet, and it's just like I don't know what to like. I don't know, he's just like a roller coaster type fighter. You don't really know what you're gonna get. So in this fight with John Molina, I'm not taking anything away from Broner, but this is my honest opinion. My honest opinion is it wasn't what I expected. I expected it to deliver more, and I'm not a casual fan. I can appreciate boxing. I think Broner fought a smart fight, even in the 12th round. It's not pleasing to the eye because he wasn't willing to engage, but it's smart. So on one token, I want to give him props for being smarter than he has been in the past for like the Maidana fight. But it's just overall it is really hard to gauge. Like, I mean, you're in there with the guy who has produced stoppages in like the late rounds and 12th round and stuff versus Mickey Bay with John Molina. You clearly have been dominating the fight up to that point. So I mean, you know you can afford to give away a round. Now the problem that I have, like I guess the flip side, it is a smarter thing to do, but his antics and like what he says, that's not what people are going to expect from you. You know what I'm saying? So building up to the fight, he said, I'm going to knock him out and I'm going to stop you. You can even see him mouthing it if you watch one of the videos of the weigh-in. He was like saying, I'm going to stop you, I'm going to stop you. So it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. You're saying you're this. People were comparing him to Floyd Mayweather, saying he's elite and he says he's the future of boxing. So you expected him, like Sugar Ray Leonard said, to close the show a bit more. So it's really just a mixed bag. He was dominant, yes, but I also think, in my honest, humble opinion, I think some of it was. I feel like I expected him to be even more dominant given what he was up against, and not taking anything away from John Molina, but I do think John Molina had a very poor game plan and strategy early, which played all the way into Broner. And Broner, like if I was a coach going against Broner, from what I've noticed, if you force him to think Johnny on the spot, he doesn't process like Mayweather. As much as he wants to emulate or be like Mayweather, his brain doesn't operate as fast. Maybe it's because he's younger or whatever. His reflexes are slower, but he doesn't respond as fast. So when you notice when he got bull rushed by Maidana, he went down, and that set the whole tone for that particular fight. So for me, I thought Molina was far too tentative. I even tweeted it. Far too tentative in the early rounds. It's like he was trying to outthink and outbox. Kind of like what Canelo did versus Mayweather. Canelo is bigger than Mayweather. Canelo probably hits harder than Mayweather. And he's younger than Mayweather. So you're not supposed to go in there with someone who's more athletic than you, faster than you, and they have, you know what I'm saying, better intangibles than you, and not use what you have to your advantages. So again, given that fact that I think Broner was up against John Molina, who came out with the bad game plan, I kind of expected a bit more. Like I said, he was dominant. Even like you look at the Peter Quillen versus Lucas Konecki. That's another example of a fight where a fighter is dominant, but you expected more. You know what I'm saying? You're going like Peter Quillen was up against a nobody, like a journeyman or whatever, in Lucas Konecki fight, and I don't think there was any knockdowns. There was no stoppage. You kind of expected more from the middleweight champion. You know what I mean? Like I looked at that fight and I'm like, Triple G would have annihilated this dude way earlier. You know what I mean? He didn't really bring nothing to the table. And I really feel that with John Molina. John Molina, he's solid, but his game plan and his strategy, and I know John, but his strategy I don't think was the best strategy. So given that, I felt like Broner should have really made it a statement, especially since built in the build up to the fights, he runs his mouth and says he's gonna knock him out and do this and that. I expected more. Like he was like being super cautious, and that's good. You're in there with the power puncher, but I can't say I'm all the way impressed. I think Lucas Matisse was more impressive. Now Lucas did get knocked down for his trouble twice, but when he got back to his boxing, it looked like more of an impact versus John Molina. I don't really recall a time. I mean, he was kind of freezing Molina a little bit, but I don't really recall a time where John Molina was just on Queer Street. He was getting clipped with shots because Broner is quick and pretty elusive. But like I said, it's just a very mixed bag. Going forward for Broner, I really want him to just become all the way disciplined. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the basics. Stop with this young fly flashy and just, you know what I mean, work on your skill, work on your craft. And you idolize Floyd Mayweather. So my advice to him is this. If you want to take anything, don't just take the money side and the flamboyant side of Floyd Mayweather and try to make that your MO. Take the respect that Floyd has when he steps in the ring. If you notice, Floyd Mayweather talks the most trash. He talks a gang of shit pre-fight. He talks shit about Oscar De La Hoya. He talks shit about Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley got a big nose. It's okay, baby. Shane Mosley had a nose job. You know what I'm saying? He was saying all kinds of shit about Mosley. But in fight, you could tell he respects and he does what's right and what's sensible to secure the victory. I don't feel Broner does that all the time. I think Broner sometimes his his temperament is such a like a wild loose cannon that sometimes he doesn't fight. Like there was a couple moments where I'm like he got clipped with shots that he shouldn't have got clipped with, trying to be too cute. You know what I'm saying? There's an old saying on the movie White Man Can't Jump. Great movie, one of my favorites, with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. And I'm not trying to bring it to race, but Woody Harrelson said in the movie, he said a black man cares about a black man cares about looking good first and winning second. And he was like, you would rather lose and look good than to win and look bad. And then they have this whole dialogue and argument. And I'm not saying that's true to black people or white people. Don't try to twist my words and, you know what I mean, call it NAACP and shit on me. But what I am saying is I kind of feel nothing to do with black people or whatever. I think that actually kind of fits Broner specifically. You know what I mean? I think he's more impressed with trying to look flashy and showboat as opposed to knuckling down and really securing the victory. And the reason I say that is because he does like some weird daring stuff when he doesn't even really have full control of the fight. Like he did the Maidana dry hump thing, kind of. He didn't really just hump Molina, but he was behind him like he was going to do it. Then he's having full-on conversations in fight. Muhammad Ali used to do that, but Muhammad Ali used to also be tagging and beating people's ass. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just different. So, hopefully Broner just learns and matures. Like, I don't want to see all that goofy shit. He already has a wide stance, which could be problematic, especially if you get in there with a big puncher, someone who's more accurate than Molina was. And, you know what I'm saying, having whole conversations, I don't see that as being a good look for Broner. I think people that, like, he calls out Pacquiao. Pacquiao will destroy. Like, Pacquiao could lose to Mayweather, and I would still pick Pacquiao to beat Broner. Like, he's super flat-footed. He was allowed by John Molina to fight at a comfortable pace. Pacquiao has great conditioning. Pacquiao's not going to let you have that comfortable pace. You know what I'm saying? And Pacquiao, I can't picture that. Pacquiao's going to be hitting you from angles. He's faster than John Molina. So he should stop calling out Manny Pacquiao. I just see those fights being very, very difficult for him. Like a fight with Pacquiao. I haven't seen anything that suggests that Broner could beat Pacquiao. Another person that I think will pose problems for this version of like what I'm seeing lately, as of late, Amir Khan. Amir Khan's looking better and better with Virgil Hunter in his last two fights, and he has the frame and like reach advantage, and he's fast. That's going to be a problem. Broner sometimes looks like he has his feet in cement. I don't see that as being a good fight. Now, he could land something. People question Amir Khan's chin, but I mean, I would favor Amir Khan in that particular fight because Amir Khan comes to fight. He's not going to be fucking around and playing around and talking and shit like that to that degree like Broner. So, I mean, he has his head on straight. He comes to scrap. Another person, Lucas Matisse. I see that being a very challenging fight. Lucas is more accurate than John Molina, and I think he's more of a boxer puncher. He can utilize a jab, which John Molina didn't really utilize a jab to come in. He was just kind of coming in with his face and head down, and he wasn't really setting it up. Lucas Matisse, I think, would set it up better. He'll jab, body punch. That's another thing. Broner, when he was in the lighter divisions, used to be a better body puncher, and he's not really chopping down the tree anymore. Like he went high, low, high, low, high, low, but sometimes he used to just rip 3 to 4 shots straight to the body, and that's it, with no head. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what him and Stafford are working on. But Lucas Matisse is another person I think that will be very problematic for his style unless he shows me something different his next fight. And also Maidana in a Maidana rematch, especially if it's at 147. These are all difficult fights for Broner from what I'm seeing. I love to see the progress and evolution of a fighter. And for Broner, it's kind of like he's at a plateau. He was rising quickly. He beat Antonio DeMarco, and that was his most complete performance, in my opinion. And then it's kind of like he got a loss, and he's just been at a standstill. He looks good in spots, but he's also getting clipped with shots that I don't think he should be getting clipped with. When he moved up to 140, 147, his power doesn't look as apparent. He still has speed and elusiveness, but I don't know. That's basically what I see. I just want to see Broner in competitive fights. He can fight whoever he wants, Lucas Matisse, Pacquiao. I think all those are very difficult fights for him, and really he should just like throw the whole flashy shit out the window and just get back to the basics, go back to the fundamentals, enjoy the sport just like he probably did when he was a kid, instead of this fame and partying and coming in at 141, even though you guys discussed coming in at 140. You know what I mean? Just different stuff like that. So I think he needs to buckle down. Those are my honest thoughts for Adrien Broner based on what I've seen. I expected him to capitalize a bit more based on the John Molina that showed up, which didn't look like the John Molina that gave Lucas Matisse all he could handle. He came in far too tentative, and that's not really his style. He's not going to outbox you, outthink you. In those early rounds, it looked like John Molina wanted to do just that. He was letting Broner get off first. Broner could fight at that pace. The people who have given him problems have pushed the pace and imposed their will on him, like Paulie Malignaggi. No power, but he had a lot of beef and resentment based on the Jessica, I stole your girl shit. So he came out, and Paulie got heart. A lot of people don't give him credit for that. Paulie got heart. So he had a ton of heart, and he has a good chin, even though he lost to Sean Porter. Paulie came out like firing, you know what I'm saying? He's a competitive person. He's a fighter, you know what I mean? Maidana imposed his will, made him fight at an uncomfortable pace. Ponce de Leon, unorthodox, made him fight at an uncomfortable pace. I think that's the key to beat Broner until he like improves in certain areas. You gotta push the action. You can't wait for Broner to get off, especially if you're right around his size. And Molina he was too plodding, too slow, and he was allowing Broner to create the rhythm and the pace of the fight. So I expected a little bit more from both of them. Let me know what you guys think of Broner. What's next for Adrien Broner? I just gave you my thoughts. Drop me a comment on your thoughts. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.